today I'm making a family favourite, a meal in a jar, the whole thing, Hungarian goulash. It isn't spicy, but you can make it spicy if you want to. This recipe, you can either do it slow cooker in the oven on the stove, or as I'm doing today, I'm going to pressure can it so that it's ready to go on the shelf at any point. It's a very, very simple recipe with hardly any pre-cook. I'm using a combination of the ring lid and the solid cap jars. These jars, well, they can all be used secondhand. So a lot of these jars are stuff that I've bought that have got mayonnaise or pickles and stuff in. You can buy new lids off the internet very cheap. And I prefer to use these. I have less failures with these because you crank them up as tight as you like. Whereas these, you have to get it spot on. So I will go ahead, get everything prepped so that I can just chuck it all together in a minute. I'm just going to make up the stock. So I've got 4 stock cubes and it'll be 500 ml of water. We can, by making it quite a concentrated stock, for the canning, I can just top it up with plain water to the limit that I want it at. But at least I know I've got the flavours that I want in the jars. The pips you can just plant straight in some compost, especially this time of year. It's getting to that time of year, you can just put them straight in. With the onion skins, if you wanted to dry them out, just literally peel them off of the onions like I'm doing now and just lay them out to dry for a few days in the windowsill, or collect them in a bowl over a few weeks, and then you can just grind them up and put them in a jar. And then you've got them to use in soups, stews, cold remedies. Right, that's all the prep done. I've left a few carrots and potatoes. Oh, I've got to do the garlic because I can chop those if I need to fill the jars up more. Right, I'm going to bring it over. In the pan, we're just going to mix up all the ingredients, not the vegetables and meat, but all the rest of the ingredients. So I've got the beef stock, two tins of tomatoes, so I've got two different sorts of paprika. I've got smoked paprika, I've got 3 tablespoons of that. I've got normal paprika, so this is a mild to sweet. So I'm actually going to be putting in a little bit of chili powder because I don't have any hot or medium paprika. There's so many different ones. So 2 of these. I don't like, or we don't like very spicy stuff. So I didn't have any of the hot paprika, but I'm just going to put in a little bit of chili powder. Probably just sort of half a teaspoon. Yeah. And that will probably be plenty for us if I can get it out. And like I say, you can put as much, if you like really spicy, just use a hot paprika instead of the sweet one, or use a combination of the 2. A good grind, really good grind of pepper. Half a teaspoon of salt. Might get my jar out actually. And then we've got tomato puree, 3 tablespoons of that. Nice heaped ones. And the garlic. So we're doing cold canning today. It means everything is cold. You can do hot pack or cold pack, but cold pack is really, really simple. And we're just going to divide the ingredients equally. That's a 2 meal That's 2 meals. So we've got 8 meals effectively here. So we need to distribute it evenly. Just divide that up between 8 as much as easy as I can. That needs to be 2 lots there and 2 lots. Right. Plump them in. You don't have to sort of pre-do it in the pots like I've done. I just obviously have done it for video demonstration. If you had other root vegetables that you wanted to use up, like parsnip or turnip or anything, you can pop that in. Again, if you were making for the slow cooker, I would probably cook the peppers separately or add the peppers quite late on. I'd like to get it squashed down as much as possible because the vegetables and it will all cook down. Again, if you don't want to put the potatoes in, you can cook your potatoes once your meal is ready, or you can have it with rice or bread. Right, do for a minute. Let's get some sauce in, I think. This is part of what they call debubbling. It gets all the foods mixed in, gets any air pockets out so that you get the right level, because you want to leave an inch head space at the top. Hello? Yeah. Hi. YouTube.
Phone's working then?
Yeah.
Was lucky, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was my son returning some ratchet straps that they'd borrowed. He mentioned about this phone that I'm using. Yes, I dropped it down the loo yesterday out of my back pocket. Luckily, it was in a cover, and we quickly got it. I quickly got it out, and I put it in some rice and put it on the radiator, and didn't touch it for about 16 hours. And luckily, we are all working. Right, I think we're about there. That one might be a little bit full, and that one. Just take a little bit out of them. I do have one last ingredient that I've not included on the paper, which I should have done when writing my own list, is I always add a little tiny bit of sugar. Because you've got all the tomatoes and spices and tomato puree, it is just nice just to have that little bit of sugar in there. So probably half a teaspoon in the 2 jars and a quarter in the single serve. Let's give these jars a clean up with some white vinegar. Pressure canning, you don't need to, if you're pressure canning, you don't actually need to sterilise the jars and lids, but you do need to make sure that they are clean around the top. Just going to give them a rough wipe and then give them another clean in a minute, I think, as I've made a bit of a mess. Like I say, you can use reuse lids. Just check the seals each time, make sure they've got no marks or rust or anything like that on them. Make sure the seals look like they're intact. So like I say, these ones as tight as you like. That's be that one, is it? And the These ones are just finger tight. What I normally do is I normally tighten it up a little bit and then just back off. There we go. You don't have to clean the outside, but I have got in a bit of a mess with them, so just going to clean them off. Otherwise, when it's in the water, it then all sticks to the other jars. Yeah, all ready to go into the pressure canner. So in the pressure canner, you put your grate. If you don't have a grate, you can just fold up a tea towel and put it in the bottom. Pop your jars in. You want to try and get them so they're not quite touching, so that when they rattle, they don't get the old shock. That's it. So always refer to your manufacturer's guidance for how high to fill your pot. Depending on what you are putting in, whether it's a meat product like this that's going to be on for 90 minutes, you'd need slightly more. So I normally come up to a quarter of the way up the jar. That's pretty good, I think. There we go. Turn him on. There we go, nice and tight. Then we'll wait for him to steam out of there, and then we let him turn him down a bit and steam for 10 minutes before we put the weight on. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's just started to steam. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit. You can hear him bubbling away. Turn him down and set a timer for 10 minutes. So my 10-minute timer has just gone off. So I'm just going to put the weight on, she says, and turn it back up. And then once he starts to, once he starts to dance around, we'll turn it down so we've got a consistent level and set the timer for 90 minutes. So you can see that it hasn't taken long at all, probably about 2-3 minutes, starting to twizzle and dance. So I'm going to turn him down so that he is just maintains that little jiggle. So this is a 10-pound weighted gauge. That's right for my altitude. You would have to check your weights for your altitude. And I'm going to set a timer for 90 minutes. My timer's gone off. I didn't have the recorder on my mic on, so all I did was I've just literally turned the gas off. You can still hear it bubbling, and we'll let it come down to natural pressure on its own. Take about 15 minutes, half an hour, depending on how much and how big your pressure cookers are. But there's no rush with it. If you had to go out and leave it, that wouldn't be a problem. You could just turn it off and go out. The timings for it, I put it on for 90 minutes. 1 pint jars are normally 75 minutes if they contain meat, and 90 minutes if it's quarts, but I always overdo mine at the 90 minutes. It's been off for about 20 minutes, I would say. Oh, I just had a little hiss. There we go. So it's come off, and we're just gently release that one off. And we'll just turn that. You can hear one of them hissing. So I'm just going to leave it as it is, probably for another quarter of an hour. It's been about 20 minutes, half an hour since I took the lid off. So I'm just going to gently lift them out. I've heard a lot of pinging and popping going on, which is a really good sign. Try not to bang them about too much. I've had a bit of siphoning in here, a little bit. Always looks worse than what it is, but that's quite natural. So as they cool, the pressure drops and it sucks in and seals. So I should just leave those now and just let them cool off. And all these should be, that's already gone down, that one's already gone down, so is that one. That one's still a bit raised, but they should, you'll see them, they'll be sucked in and pulled down. Just gently show you. Still bubbling. So that's it for another video. I hope you didn't miss the secret ingredient that I put in. It really is a super little recipe to have in the cupboard on the shelf. So if you've had a busy day at work or emergency situations, anything like that, meals like this, you could eat them cold if you wanted to, but would use minimal heat to just reheat them, and much healthier because you know exactly what has gone into them, rather than lots of added preservatives and stuff like that that may be in the supermarket ready meals. So I hope you give it a go, and maybe even if you haven't started your pressure canning journey, as I said before, try with vegetables. They don't take very long to do, and it gives you a bit of confidence with the pressure canning. But using the cold pack method, like I've done today, everything's cold, water's cold, jars are cold, food's cold, so you don't have to worry too much. You can take your time. So this is a really nice little recipe to get yourself started. If you did like the video, please give it the old thumbs up and a subscribe if you're not already. Really does help the channel get promoted. So that would be great. Thank you to everybody that has continued to watch. It's really appreciated. Hopefully see you on the next video. Till next time, bye.